Hello everyone, welcome to we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. That's season 5 episode 16, which is also the season finale. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you won't miss any further videos. But let's get right into it. So like I said, it turns out this is the season finale, which we knew the season was about to wrap, but they didn't really tell us that this week was the finale. But anyway, they begin the episode with a rundown on everything that has gone down this season, which I have to admit, it's been a pretty good season. But the actual episode begins with the conversation that Lisa was having with Lenny's mom, where she seemed to be putting a little bit of the blame on Lisa. But Lisa says, well, let's get something straight, and this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. And you can tell that deep down the lady knows that Lenny is like a bad guy. But I mean, it is her son. What else can we expect her to say? I know Lisa has talked about this divorce over and over again throughout this season, but for some reason her talking about it on this episode at the beginning made me feel even sadder than how it usually does. So then Larsa and Guerdy are having lunch together, which by the way, they're not getting along like in present time, but they still are in the episode, and they're talking about everything that went down in Miami. And then they talk about Adriana, which, you know, Guerdy has been very supportive of Adriana, but Larsa doesn't want anything to do with Adriana. Then you guys, oh my god, as a Latino, this was such a special moment. But Adriana went to go talk to none other than Latino superstar, music legend Emilio Estefan, who is an amazing producer. He has worked with the best, and of course he's married with Gloria Estefan. So the fact that Adriana is meeting with him at the studio is amazing. So they're going over some new potential music, and he has a demo for her to listen, and she gets emotional thinking on how far she has come. Like the fact that now she's sitting in front of Emilio Estefan. I love that scene. Then Alexia and Marysol go over to Lisa's house, which I've said this before, but oh my, that house is spectacular. So one thing that Lisa brings up is that Adriana asked her to mediate between her and Alexia and Marysol. Alexia is still very upset and isn't sure if she's ready to even see her. But I'm glad Lisa was saying, you know what, we all told her that she was messed up for saying what she did, but we also understand her feelings. Then Martina and Julia have a dinner date, and they seem pretty happy as opposed to some of the other scenes that we've seen this season. They're like enjoying the time, and Martina says that she's really glad that Julia took her out to eat and would like to see a little bit more affection, because that is one of the things that they kind of like struggled with. But the adoption is making them even closer. Next up is Nicole. She's having like a therapy type of thing with her dad and her therapist friend Lisa, and to be honest, when I first like saw it, I didn't think it was a good idea, especially like getting it filmed. But like, so the dad comes, and like out of the gate he comes in saying that he's a great man and that he needs little to no fixing, and that's kind of bothering Nicole. But she says that he like doesn't really seem to care about others. He says that he's told Nicole that he loves her, that he's proud of her, etc. But then the therapist asks, but have you said that you're sorry? Which is hard for him, like he couldn't even do it. But then he starts to explain how he felt like with his relationship with Nicole after apparently she was hit by a car when she was little. So that might have changed the way like he was protecting her or something like that. I mean, I'm sure they understand it much more because they actually lived it. But it's a big revelation to Nicole, and it makes her look at things from a very different perspective. And it actually ends up really great. Nicole and her dad can now have a new chapter, and they're saying, you know what, like let's hang out more, let's go out to eat. So that's great for Nicole. Alexia then has a heartfelt scene with Frankie. They're cooking, and she says that she's been like trying to get him to do things like cook for himself, do laundry, and he's been doing great. Then Alexia's other son, Peter, goes with his dad, and his dad tells him that Alexia wants him to be more involved in the salon, and he gets angry. Then the dad talks to him about his girlfriend and the problems they went through, and wow, Peter comes across as such an ungrateful kid. It looks like he takes everything for granted, and he looks lazy and unappreciative. I will say that. Then it's another day, and Guerdy is going to supervise her party that she is planning to do for the girls later that day, which she is calling the melting pot party. I love seeing Guerdy in her element, going over everything, making sure everything's right. Like even the smallest details matter when you're planning a party like that. And then it's a little bit later, and now everybody is arriving. Larsa arrives, and all of a sudden, she's telling Julie and Guerdy that she wants to help Adriana. Like, what? Like, she was just saying the opposite not too long ago. And then Adriana arrived. She is feeling anxious because she does want to apologize to Alexia. And then Larsa, the fake, starts telling Adriana so many nice things. Your music video was great. You're beautiful. But she's doing it like in a sarcastic type of way. But she does tell her that she isn't alone and that if she ever needs anyone, they are there for her, which I don't know if she meant it, but the way she said it, it did sound like she meant it. So then Alexia and Marysol arrive. They do say hi to Adriana. Adriana in particular gets Marysol and gives her a big hug. So that makes Marysol calm down a little bit. And like I thought that would have made her be more open to talk to her. But then to show you how fake Larsa is, she goes to Alexia on the side and attempts to talk bad about Adriana, but Alexia doesn't really pay her much attention. And when they're all sitting down, Alexia even says that she loves Adriana's song. Again, that Guerdy can throw a hell of a party, so Guerdy takes the floor to tell everyone that she loves them, but she tells Adriana that she knows that she's down and she's not going to kick her when she's down, and that they all need to be really supportive of her. And it was actually quite emotional. Even Guerdy got emotional. And then Adriana stands up and apologizes to both Alexia and Marysol for hurting them and the things that she said. But Alexia gets sad again and starts to cry because, Frankie's really sensitive topic for her. So then Alexia and Marysol start to kind of be a little bit defensive to Adriana, but Adriana's owning it. Like, she's owning everything that she did wrong, and she is saying that she needs them to be there for her. Like, she wants their friendship. And Alexia, she kind of does believe Adriana, like, even though she's really hurt. But Marysol is being really hard, and she's saying that she's not going to accept the apology. It really bothered her to hear about the ex, about what Adriana told her, I guess, because she is maybe projecting some anger to Adriana. That's what I think. Maybe the anger that Marysol feels from the ex might be a little projection onto Adriana, because what Adriana said about Frankie was much worse, and Marysol seems to be angrier. And again, Guerdy is reacting that Adriana screws up very bad, but she's truly broken, so they have to hear her out. Then Lisa gets up and says, you know what, I don't really say a lot, but I've known Adriana for so long, and she is deeply sorry. She then goes and thanks all the other women for all of her support that they've given her, and says that everything does happen for a reason. So that is a good way to close off the season. But unfortunately, neither Alexia or Marysol want to hear anything from Adriana anymore. From Alexia, I understand it, but from Marysol, I don't. So I feel bad because, you can only say you're sorry so many times. And if that other person doesn't want to hear you, then, there's just nothing else you can do. So then the season wraps up. That was the final scene. And then we get some updates. Unfortunately, Martina was diagnosed with throat and breast cancer. That is awful. I feel really bad. Alexia, on the other hand, did go on her honeymoon. Guerdy went on vacation with her family. Larsa is now dating Michael Jordan's son, which is kind of disgusting. Let's not even get into that. Adriana is continuing to work with music legend Emilio Estefan. Nicole now has a good relationship with her parents, and she sold her house for $44 million to Jeff Bezos' mom, which that's pretty cool. And Lisa, oh my, they save her for last. And apparently Lisa hosted a Halloween party for Lenny, which... why would you do that, Lisa? Like, knowing everything that has gone down, I do blame you a little bit for throwing a party for Lenny, especially a Halloween party, because you know how people like to dress up for Halloween, okay? And as she's filming her confessional, she says, wait a minute. She gets her phone and she sees a notification that it's being said that Lisa was flirting around with two guys or having some relation with two guys at that party. So very angrily, she gets the phone and calls Lenny, and they start going back and forth. Why would you allow that to be said in the press? Your ex-girlfriend, you're the one flirting with girls. I never did this. I never did that. Blah, 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 blah. And it's a whole mess. And that's where it ends. That's where season 5 wraps, but not fully, because next week we're gonna get part 1 of the reunion, which looks it looks very explosive. So I can't wait for next episode. But as far as this season finale, pretty good. Like I said, I understand Alexia still being mad at Adriana, but I don't understand Marysol because she's like holding way too much resentment. But you guys let me know what y'all thought about this season finale of The Real Housewives of Miami. Any thoughts that you have, let me know and I'll read them in the comments. And like I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.